Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Kimberly Boscheman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we are going to take a deep dive into the upcoming super full moon lunar eclipse that's occurring on September 17th or 18th, depending on where you live in the world. So we're going to take a look at each life path number to see how these energies could affect you in the months that follow. Remember that an eclipse opens us up to a storyline or a new chapter that will likely unfold over the coming 6 months to a year. So this is a progressive energy that we'll be working with, but at the time of the eclipse, we should have a pretty good indication of what that storyline is. This particular eclipse, I love the energy that we're going to be working with. It's absolutely beautiful. It's very supportive. So I'm really looking forward to breaking down each life path number. One thing that I wanted to introduce with this moon reading is the animal wisdom messages, but they're going to be a little bit different than what I do for the month ahead. What I wanted to do is for the illumination is offer sort of a mantra word that you can use that's going to be driven by one of the animal spirits that come through. So it's not going to be quite as detailed as the month ahead animal wisdom messages, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to bring those in as well. And what better time to start than a super full moon lunar eclipse? Yay! Before we get into it, if you're listening on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell. For some reason, with the algorithm, a lot of times the only way you're going to know if I release a video is if you've hit the bell, and then you'll be sure to be notified when that video is released. The other thing is, of course, this is a general forecast. So if you want to take a look at your own personal numerology to get the best idea for how these vibrations and, your own personal numerology are working for you, then the best way to do that is, of course, to have a reading, and you can book some time with me. My information is in the description box below if you choose to do that. Okay, enough housekeeping. Let's get into it. Life path number 1. So for this eclipse, you're going to be working with the vibration of the 18-9. So this is truly a time for some kind of evolutionary growth or greater development. And remember, because this is a general reading, this can show up in any area of your life where it's needed most. So you could see some pretty phenomenal expansion over the next 6 months in some area of life that could be quite significant for you. Also, this can be a time for very vivid imagination, and your dreamscapes can be just exploding at this time. It can be very, very vivid, very surreal, but there can be deeper messages hidden within there as well. So I would definitely say pay attention to your dreams, your visions, your downloads, your ideas that come in for you at this time. Because remember, you're a life path 1. You are meant to be the visionary in this lifetime and blaze those new paths and those new trails and do things differently. And so much of what you do in this lifetime is going to stem from that greater imagination, those inspirations, those ideas that, probably come in for you quite a bit, but under this eclipse, something is being really illuminated that needs your attention. And it's coming back to your own greater genius, so to speak. So some kind of dream, vision, your imagination, inspiration, something could likely spark some genius within you, some genius ideas and plans. And you're absolutely meant to take them seriously and explore them and see what you can build on those plans and those ideas. This is a great time for organization. So getting organized and feeling like you have your ducks in a row to the best of your ability, right? And meaning, of course, you don't always have control over every detail or the destination or the outcome, etc. So this is going to be a time for figuring it out, right? Figuring out what's yours, what's your responsibility, what is it that you want to lead, where is it that you've got limitations that you have to call in others to assist, where is it that you can sort of pass the baton and let others take the lead in, even if it's your project. what's going to give you the greatest outcome? What's going to give you the greatest build? And, of course, it's going to be working alongside of others and sharing ideas and delegating and all of the things. And remember, sort of, make this fit in whatever area of your life it resonates. But this is a time to get organized, to have that plan of action. This is not necessarily the time to initiate right at this eclipse. I think that's going to unfold for you to understand when it's go time and when to sort of say, make it happen type of thing or go all in. I really do feel like at the time of the eclipse, and then as we continue to progress over the next couple of months, I would say 3 to 6 months, is going to be really about getting your ducks in a row, making sure you feel good about what it is that you're building, what it is that you're putting together, the people you're calling in, the people you're collaborating with, the people that you're putting your name behind, et cetera, et cetera. So this is definitely a planning stage. And you might be reaching out to people to connect, to see, to gauge their level of interest and et cetera, et cetera. But this is not going to be a time to necessarily, hang the sign outside the door and say open for business just yet. That is coming, but you're in this stage of big ideas still coming in and you figuring out how to kind of work with those ideas, how to implement them, how to bring those ideas into something tangible and into your physical reality. The harvest time, or that time where it's, you do hang the sign on the door type of thing, is later. And I would say, again, because this is all being initiated under this eclipse, 6 months to a year would be a good gauge of time for a timeline. I don't usually like to speak about timelines because energy is so fluid, right? It's not always linear. It's not linear. So it can depend on your circumstances. It will depend on your circumstances. But my point being, this is the time to plan, to get the blueprint, to figure it out, to make sure that when it's go time, you are ready to go. Because that harvest is coming and it's going to be fantastic and bountiful, depending on the actions that you take now, right? So again, beautiful, beautiful energy for new ideas and that spark of genius that could come in at this time. Your job is to figure out how to take it from the land of the unseen into this very physical reality and make it into something. And that is so aligned with your one energy, and that's why I'm loving it. You could also get very clear direction now in whatever way it is that you're meant to be moving forward, that's going to make sense to you. And again, I say now, I mean over the course of the next maybe 6 months to a year. But if there's any area that's been a little gray, a little foggy, a little bit like where you're like, I know this is going to happen, but I don't know how, I feel like that clarity is going to be coming in very distinctively in the months that follow. Now, for your animal wisdom mantra message, you got moth energy. So the sort of the mantra that you can work with over the next following months is, I surrender as I follow the light. Okay, I surrender as I follow the light. And what I would add is just make sure that it isn't an artificial light that you're following. Make sure that it's true to you. All right. Hope it's a great one. I think it will be. Okay. Bye.